Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Money League. Week one of Premier League is in the books this season. Guys, what was your biggest takeaways? Harjus, let's start with you.
I think Chelsea looked decent. Isn't that they were a mid-table club last year. I know we
Yeah.
expect better from them, but I thought they looked pretty good against a team that, right, on last week's episode, I think is going to go top four in Liverpool.
Yep. Milsey, what about you? What was your biggest takeaway?
What is the only takeaway you can take from the EPL is that you cannot stop the mighty Man City.
Yeah.
Another championship, baby. I think we won the UEFA Super Cup, baby. Yes,
Yeah, I
another
did.
championship.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
I did see that.
four. That is four. All right.
Yep.
Trevor last year,
We'll
we got
see.
one more. So yeah, that's the
Okay.
takeaway.
We'll
You
see.
can't stop the mighty Man City.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. They are pretty formidable right now. My biggest takeaway was the struggles of Man United. Horrible. We almost lost against the Wolves, but barely snuck in a win.
Yeah.
Guys, let's jump on to three main injuries we saw this past week. Harjus, let's start with Kevin De Bruyne. Can you give us some details? What's the rehab, and when can we expect him back?
Okay, so it's unfortunately a hamstring injury. The same thing he injured in the Champions League final, which even though it's last season, was not that long ago. Klopp threw the word surgery out there, and that to some people probably doesn't feel like much detail, but you don't get surgery on torn muscles, even if it's fully torn, unless there's tendon involvement. So if those of you remember when Harry Kane had to have surgery, and so the surgical procedures where they reattach the tendon back onto the bone. And so if that's the case, this could be like 4 or 5 months, maybe best case 3 months. But I wouldn't be shocked if De Bruyne is out for the rest of the calendar year. And so I know best case scenario, they're already saying mid-December, which means, they've also acknowledged that. But I think the interesting thing is if he has to have surgery to reattach, then yeah, best case scenario, he's back like in January, I would say. So that's the big thing with that being released. Sorry, did I say Klopp? I meant to say Pep.
Yeah,
With
we get
that
that.
sharing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
we
sorry. I
got that.
realize now.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast driving home today. We're talking about Liverpool and Klopp, so I think he was on the front of my mind there. But sorry, Pep shared that. So De Bruyne, unfortunately, going to be out for a big chunk, big loss. Yeah, that's the long and short of it.
Let's see what the mighty Man City does without Kevin De Bruyne. Milsey, what are the other injuries we are looking for this week?
What's his name? Justin Timber. What's it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, sorry, Jurian Timber, the right back for Arsenal. He has torn his ACL and he will be out for the season. He will undergo ligament reconstruction surgery and
Yeah.
he'll probably be ready for they say he'll be ready for the 2024-25 season. And actually, just today, Chelsea suffered two major hamstring injuries, one to Reece James and another one to Trevoh Chalobah, and both of them actually suffered the same injury that Kevin De Bruyne has. They both have grade 2 hamstring strains because Trevoh was already dealing with a grade 1 hamstring strain and he just made it worse in training. It actually is partially torn per sources. And also we all know Reece James missed 7 games last season. At the last 7 games last season with a hamstring injury, and they say he's also retorn it too. So both of them are going to be out for a considerable amount of time.
Yeah, it looks
Arjus,
like
is this like a? Yeah,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I just wanted to. I had an observation. Is this because people are getting geared up for the new season and the soft tissue injuries are up, or is it because we see in the NFL all the time? So
Yeah,
as a
there is
doctor,
usually
is that a yeah?
there is usually some injury acclimate, like what I would say, like acclimation injury. So players are getting acclimatized to playing again. But at the same time, like we're past preseason as well. And it's been odd, like time because of COVID delayed seasons, then a Winter World Cup delayed the season. So like they had less time off. It's almost like this is different. Like, don't forget, like some football players take like 7 months off, right? The off season is so long. It doesn't feel like it because NFL news cycle doesn't stop. But in terms of guys who don't make the playoffs, you're done, at the end of the calendar year, and then you fire it back up in August, essentially, right? Especially for veteran guys. So it's a bit different than what we see in the NFL on that side. Yes, there's for sure some acclimatization. All these guys are back in their first game where they're going full speed for 90 minutes, whereas preseason no one plays 90. But also, like, these guys have taken on a lot of minutes, especially some of these big names who played for the national team. team, right? The Courtois, the Militaos, the De Bruynes, the Reece James. I know James hasn't been with the national team too much lately, but still, guys who've taken on a lot of minutes are now starting to wear down a little bit.
Yep, that's a bummer. Hopefully, let's hope the injury numbers are less this season. But those were the three main injuries this past week to monitor. Milsey, do you want to touch upon all the rule changes we saw this season? And Harjas, we would like your thoughts on those.
Yeah, there actually have been 8. There's been 8 rule changes, but there's 3 kind of hot button topic ones that everyone is really talking about. The first one is actually came from the Qatar World Cup, because you saw how we had 11 and 12 minutes of added extra time and stuff like that. It actually says starting this season, just going to read something right quick. It says starting this season, time will be added to the end of a game for any seconds that are wasted for a prolonged goal celebration, substitutions, or injury delay. And also with that is the new concussion injury delays as well too. So more time will be added on about that as well. Another thing is they're gonna penalties for time wasting. They said another one. They said goalkeepers will have to get used to another new rule change about time wasting, because when they catch the ball and they lay down on it to try to drain some clock and stuff like that. Now, according to new things, referees will now issue an early warning to get a sense of if a goalkeeper is wasting time, and if they do, they'll get a yellow card or something. And the team also may be fined, but that's neither here nor there. And another big thing is unsportsmanlike behavior or unsporting behavior, pretty much. And this upcoming season, players may avoid a new card despite committing a foul if the referees believe that if there was a deliberate attempt to get the ball. But if they just immediately are going after a player, not this the ball, they'll be quicker with the yellow card, and maybe even more red cards too. So watch out for that.
Harjas, thoughts?
Well, we're I got a few thoughts, but I guess we're focusing on it from an injury physician standpoint. I got to wear that hat for this moment.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of added extra minutes for these guys. I wish I could quote the source and find it, but someone did a calculation that if some player were to play every minute this season, the amount of additional extra time could total up to between 6 to 8 extra games. And it makes sense.
Whoa,
you might see 6 or 7 minutes in the first half, and then let's say 11 minutes at the end of the game. You could see almost 20 minutes in that, we've seen it. We've seen the +9s, the +10s, right? So we've seen it in the Women's World Cup. So yeah, so there's an estimation that whatever, I don't know what 90 times whatever, get to 6 extra games. I should know, but it's reasonable. So if you think about keepers, you think about players who log a lot of heavy minutes, then you're talking about a lot of extra minutes on their body. So we already talked about soccer having extra competitions, no real time off, short off seasons. We might see a slight uptick in injuries. It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure someone's already got the spreadsheet ready to compare injuries this year versus prior, and see if the additional minutes in each match makes a difference.
Yep. So one observation from week 1 was, even with all these rule changes, the time wasting increased twice, and the number of yellow cards remained the same. So really? I don't know how effective these rule changes are going to be. Maybe in the long run, there's still 37 more league games left. So let's wait and see how these impact.
One quick thing. Dr. Harjas mentioned the Women's World Cup. Actually, the new offside VAR technology that they've been using in that one, they're going to be utilizing that in the EPL too. So that's another hot button. The new offside rules using that new technology, and it's been very effective, as we've seen.
Yep. Some players are against it, and some players want to waste time because they feel like Rafael Varane, United came out and be like, hey, that's part of the game. We like to waste time, and that kind of adds on the strategy part of it. But no, I don't think anyone is a fan of 10-minute added time after the game's done. It's frustrating no matter what. But on the other hand, if a team is trailing, or if a team is if a game is tied, there is still 10 minutes to win that game. So it's you can look at it glass half full or glass half empty. Guys, let's jump on. Go ahead, Harjas.
I just want to say, I really do like that they're penalizing time wasting. I do.
Yes,
this is us North Americans, where our sports, the clock always stops. I think it's a bit of that, but I'm happy they're doing it.
Yep. And one more thing, Milsey, you missed was the fines for all the managers this year for unruly behavior or anything like that. It's either 2 times or even 3x at certain issues. So let's just hope. A good thing, Jose Mourinho is not in the EPL anymore. Dude would have probably given his
Yes,
entire
my
year's
man.
paycheck.
Yeah.
His whole wage would go to penalties, man.
Guys, the other big news this week, again, it's a rumor. I'm not sold on it. Mills is sold on it. It's the Man United takeover. Mills, can you give us more information? Are you happy that we're getting oil money and not just the city folks?
Hey, it's not for me. It's not for me because I know you, Rahul, as a big Man United fan, but you don't like the oil money coming into this thing, especially with Saudi Arabia getting all the new players. But embrace the oil money, man, because the Qatari sheik, he is looking to put in a $7.5 billion with a B bid for Man United for the Glazer family, and they said a deal was almost imminent, that they were going to announce it anytime soon. But then there was another new article has recently come out. They said that the Glazers are in no rush to sell it to the sheik, but still, I think that it'll be a cool move to see Sheikh Jassim, that's his name, to potentially buy the thing. Embrace the oil money, Rahul. Embrace it.
I don't think I have any say in this one, but the stock price for United have not gone anywhere up or down, so I don't know if the deal is out. It went up, but the entire stock market
went up like 10%. It went up like 10%. Went up like 10%,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, but let's see. Harjas, do you
Yes.
think your team is going to get bought out too?
No.
No way, right?
But I don't put anything past oil money. I think there'll be a small few clubs they'll just deny it because they won't be able to handle the PR. Like once the EPL had one club who did it, then it's like everyone's available. So if someone else bought I don't know, Valencia, and then all of a sudden Valencia kept winning leagues, then when the PR shifts to we need that oil money to compete in the league, then they can take over. But I don't think they can just start with Madrid or Bayern or Juventus. They would have to rise up, and then those fans be like, wait, we're no longer dominating because we don't have the money. Then those current ownership group could allow some of that in.
Yeah. Well, it took City honestly 12 years to establish the dominance with a lot of money. So let's see how long it takes. PSG was a failure. So it's tough to say once oil money is in, you're going to be successful. So it's really tough to go in that route. It's kind of hyperbole right there. Guys, one more thing. I don't know.
Falling apart at the seams.
That is true. That is true. PSG is falling apart, and that is Millsy's second team. So it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, guys. Harry Kane's impact on EPL. It's kind of a bummer he's not going to get the EPL all-time goal scoring record.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Tottenham got a really good deal, 100 plus million pounds for a 31-year-old. I think it's a no-brainer for them.
I think so too. I think for Tottenham, it was time to just enter in a new era, and they got a good return for a guy who might start to decline. I don't think he will. I think his game will age still decently, but I think the value can come down just because teams anticipate you're not going to be as good, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about where Ronaldo was when he went to Juventus, 90 million was a steal, right? If you think about it, but it was because Ronaldo wasn't young anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has a high wage. That's the other thing that Bayern has to take on. I'm sure he's got a pretty good wage. So I think it's a good piece of business for Tottenham, and I think it's a good piece of business for Bayern. I'm just so interested to see if he brings if he can win a trophy. He's 0 for 1 at Bayern already.
I know, right? What if it's the Harry Kane jinx?
What if it's
he's the reason? What if Tottenham ends up winning the Carabao Cup this year? That'll be hilarious if that happens, because it's still possible. No one puts their best team for the Carabao Cup except Man United, of course. And you guys thought it was end of an era right then. Stupid, absolutely stupid. Guys, let's jump onto this week's fixtures a little bit. 3 top matches kind of stand out. Maybe I'm wrong, but the 3 which stood out were Liverpool versus Bournemouth, Tottenham, Man United. That's a super awesome game. Yeah. And of course, the clash of the oil, Newcastle United versus Man City. And I think that Man City Newcastle game is going to be more exciting than the other games. I don't know how United and Tottenham is going to play out, because both are kind of iffy team. Unless United just bounce back in the second game, we score 5 goals.
Tottenham has been they've been starting Richarlison up top, because he naturally plays a 9 for Brazil anyway. But because a lot of people were thinking, are they going to move Son up to the number 9? But they've kept him on the left wing where Charles is starting up top. And also they've been linked to Nigerian striker Gift Obron. So remember that name. He could be a potential replacement.
Okay. And looks like Chelsea plays West Ham United. That might or might not be a good game. Arsenal play Crystal Palace. So,
I mean,
by the way, I'm making
who's healthy for Chelsea? Chelsea's falling apart again.
They have spent so much money. They have players. They'll have to field some players. Okay, I'm going to have a bold take. I think maybe not at bold of a take, but I think Wolves are this year's Brighton, and they're probably going to finish top 10. They look really good against United.
What that? Like, what was it, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
Remember when they were the Portuguese national team? I mean, they still kind of are. Right?
But I think Wolves are going to be really good this year. They just look good. Like, maybe it kind of like dies out, but they look really good against United.
Or is Man U going to stumble? And Wolves isn't that great.
Wow.
It's one game.
It's one game. It's one game.
We can't overreact to one game. My hot take is Newcastle beats Manchester City.
Okay. Well, again,
Wednesday
Kevin
game,
De Bruyne.
Travel. Newcastle's got them. It's late night. I think Newcastle, like everyone's watching. It's like a prime time. It's like Sunday night football. It's not Saturday night football. Whatever. I know it's not.
We'll see. And Newcastle were no chumps. They won 5-1 last week. So
no
they're
chumps,
coming in hot as well.
And they're motivated for this game, right? And City is not motivated for the league. I just don't think
they don't care.
Yeah,
they don't care because they know after December.
There's an apathy. There's an apathy we have kind of right now.
There is an apathy. I mean, Pep kind of kills the joy a little bit too. Right, you guys know me. I have my hot takes on Pep. Like he's a genius. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if his teams ever really have fun. You know,
that's why I like Klopp. Klopp is like super fun.
More emotion.
Like more emotion. I think I like him better. But again, like Bill Belichick says for the Patriots, winning cures everything. Right? It doesn't matter how strict or how boring the practices are, as long as you win.
Upset. Bournemouth beats Liverpool. Upset. I'm going with upset.
I don't think that's happening.
I'm taking it.
No way. Okay.
We'll see.
Your money on it.
Put
your
money on it, man.
We'll see what happens.